The lightning launch, it's upon us, and I'm not talking about the new Thor flick, though this is a new spin on an old favorite, the Ford F-150. The best-selling truck for 45 years is now fully electric. Proud Supermanian has taken a ride in this bad boy and can tell us a little bit about it. How excited is the public for it? What are orders like? And you've been in it. How's it differ from everything else?
A lot there, right, man? I mean, that F-150 is quite impressive. I had a ride in it a few months ago. Super quick, very, very stable. It looks just like the original truck, right? But Ford is obviously, the underpinnings are totally different. So tomorrow is the official launch in the Rouge facility, famous facility down in Dearborn, where they're going to make the F-150. It's also going to be produced there, and they're celebrating the launch and production of that car there,
right?
And with like UAW leaders, other politicians, customers, things like that, and that's going to be kind of the big deal there for like this most important launch for the brand.
I know Brad wants to talk about the Vet, but I'm obsessed with this truck because the category seemingly wide open. You've got the Silverado from Chevy that's not out there yet. You've got this Cybertruck from Elon that is hideous. And then you've really got a handful of Rivians out there. So are they poised to come in and dominate the space right away?
So earlier this year, they said they were going to double production of that Lightning to 150,000 a year by 2023. So they know that they got to get that car out there to satiate demand. You mentioned Rivian, right? Only 1,000 trucks or so out in the public since last quarter. So Ford knows they have an opportunity. They're ahead of GM right now. They want to flood the market and hopefully get that going. That starts tomorrow.
Rochelle?
And Pras, I wanted to ask you, as someone who loves nostalgia, not necessarily perhaps pickup trucks, but I love the DeLorean from Back to the Future and, of course, the VW bus. What do we know about some of these other more nostalgic callbacks that are coming out as EVs that are coming up?
So she was asking you about some of the nostalgic vehicles. He couldn't hear her about like the VW EV bus and some of the other nostalgia plays in the EV space.
Yeah, it's funny. There's kind of two different paths here, right? There's the ultra futuristic kind of what the Japanese are going with, very like, you know, their whole like minimalist modernism. And you have like, you know, some GM cars and you have Volkswagen with the ID buzz kind of going, harkening back to that. And also Honda a bit with that little coupe they got going on. They want to kind of, you know, tap into that nostalgia, but also give you that futuristic powertrain too.
Certainly. Okay, so as we mentioned earlier, we got to talk about this Corvette. All right, we got the tweet from Mary Barra because at the end of the day, we've seen some of these sports car plays within the EV landscape, whether it's the Tesla Roadster, whether it's even the Mustang Mach-E that they came out with, that Ford had come out with. Now GM entering the chat, and there you're seeing, that's it, that's the tweet, electrified Corvette. CEO at GM, Mary Barra says. What do you think?
You know, it's interesting that the timing, right? It's like stealing thunder from Ford's big week, right? So Ford has the big launch tomorrow. So GM's like, hey, check out this new Corvette all electric. Oh, and by the way, there's no other sports cars in that like price range that are electric. You know, you got to pay millions of dollars for a Lotus Evija, Rimac, Navara, cars like that are fully electric, high-end sports cars. The Corvette's sort of kind of coming in this field on its own. Porsche has a 718. They're going to go all electric with that in 2025. That'll be the only real competitor in that price range, in my opinion, and until 2025. The Corvette EV is coming out next year, along with a hybrid version that'll be even more powerful, supposedly.
Okay, I read the press release, and it said electrified.
Yeah.
It didn't say fully electric. Are they splitting hairs there?
So Mark Royce went on LinkedIn, the GM president, and said there's going to be a fully electric version and an electrified version. And what he means by that is electrified means hybrid. So really high power V8 with another motor to really amp up that performance, going after the Ferraris and McLarens of the world. I mean, that car's going to be for real.
All right, making sense of some of the announcements here today for us. Proud Supermanian, Yahoo Finance's own autos reporter. We appreciate it.